Welcome to my channel. This is Materialize with Marissa featured on McKaz Gallery, where I teach you about artifacts, places to explore, US and art history, and how to relax and have some fun. Today I'm working on a piece that I've titled Sunflowers in the Rain. Now, let's get to the fun part, painting! I'll be sharing some techniques I use to create sunflowers in the rain, and I'll connect them to the Van Gogh style along the way. First, sketching and drawing are the fundamentals of every painting. Van Gogh often sketched his compositions before painting, and I did the same. Don't press too hard. You're not carving a masterpiece out of stone. In 1887, Vincent Van Gogh produced his renowned series of sunflower paintings, which continue to be celebrated as some of his most significant works. Fast forward to 2025, and I've created my own interpretation inspired by these masterpieces. But my inspiration doesn't come from the scenic field in the south of France. It comes from the joy of nurturing blue jays, gray doves, and the occasional woodpecker in my modest backyard here in Florida. Through their presence, I've witnessed several sunflowers thriving despite the warm climate. It's a serendipitous time to grow them, since we're in the cooler months of January and February, and the rainy season is approaching, reminding me of nature's resilience. In homage to this fortunate development, I'm dedicating my first commission piece to the exquisite sunflowers that have bloomed in my garden, celebrating the beauty of life and the inspiration it brings. Next, as you paint the background, make sure to paint the edges of your canvas. We call this gallery wrapping, and it gives your piece a polished and professional look. Van Gogh loved backgrounds that often use vibrant blues and greens to make his sunflowers pop. I've gone with a deep blue to mimic the rainy atmosphere, just like the stormy skies Vincent might have seen while dreaming of sunnier days. Vincent Van Gogh, a Dutch post-impressionist painter, created over 2,000 artworks in just over a decade, despite him struggling with mental health challenges throughout his life. Born in 1853, he didn't start painting until his late 20s, but his passion and unique style, marked by bold colors, expressive brushstrokes, and emotional depth, made him one of the most influential artists in history. His Sunflower series, painted in Arras, France, was meant to bring joy, warmth, and symbolize gratitude and hope. Tragically, Van Gogh's life was cut short in 1890 at age 37, but his legacy continues to inspire artists like me and maybe you. I've been blessed to see 3 of his incredible paintings in person. Green wheat fields in 1890, with its vibrant blue and airy skies with tall green grass that seems to be rolling in the direction of the landscape. His self-portrait in 1889, thought to be a mirrored image where he holds his palette in his right hand, which I saw in Washington, D.C. And large plane trees, road menders at Saint Remy in 1889 at the Cleveland Museum of Art, which captures the energy of nature with its dramatic trees and earthy tones. Knowing the date of a painting is important because it reveals the artist's mindset and growth at a very specific time, like a window into their creative journey during those years. That's why artists often include dates in their portfolio. It helps collectors and viewers trace how their style has evolved. Standing in front of these artworks, I felt a deep connection to Van Gogh's ability to find beauty in the world, even during the most challenging moments. That's what inspires me to create pieces like Sunflowers in the Rain, to challenge the same sense of wonder and resilience. Make sure to click that link in the description below to visit my Etsy page, where you know your purchase is safe and secure and keep an eye out for the Amazon listings coming soon. Let's take a closer look at my artwork in progress, Sunflowers in the Rain. I'm currently painting the scene and I'm focused on color value, using darks and lights to create illusion of depth. For example, you see how I'm building the contrast with the black knight on the chessboard against the lighter table, which will eventually have a warm and inviting glow. I'm also adding raindrops on the window to capture that stormy mood outside. Taking inspiration from Van Gogh, I'm paying attention to how he created value with his leaves, using the deeper greens and the lighter highlights to give them dimension and life. Fun fact, did you know the human eye is particularly sensitive to the color green? We can distinguish more shades of green than any other color, which is why night vision goggles often use green displays. They maximize clarity and detail for your eyes. Another trick I use is stabilizing my hand with my pinky while painting details like the sunflower petals or the raindrops. It helps with control, especially when adding small, delicate touches. Van Gogh's brushstrokes were bold and expressive, but even he needed control to capture the energy of the flowers. At the very least, it just keeps your hand a little bit cleaner. Finally, when painting glass, like the vase in this piece, always use your highlights and lowlights, or contrast. The glass in Sunflowers in the Rain has swirling blues and whites to show its transparency and reflection. Van Gogh didn't paint a lot of glass, but he was a master of light and shadow. Imagine him painting a vase and probably add some wild swirling strokes and says, "Let's make the glass as whimsical as the starry night sky." Here's a tip. Don't be afraid to use a ruler to check your perspective lines, especially for the window panes and the chessboard. So if something is not quite right, like my table did at first, layer over it or embrace the change. No one will know, unless you tell them on YouTube like I just did. Take your time with these techniques. Don't be afraid to experiment. Van Gogh's sunflowers were all about capturing emotion. So let your brushstrokes reflect how these sunflowers make you feel. By the way, they kind of look like daisies. When you finish your artwork, remember, presentation matters. Isolate and showcase your painting in a way that complements it and your hard work. Be proud! You created something beautiful, and I like to display mine digitally in a frame and hang it on a mock-up wall to let the viewers see that each piece can be beautiful and wonderful in a living space. Fill the room with color. And there you have it, sunflowers in the rain. I hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as I have. If you have constructive criticism or another artist style you'd like me to feature, maybe more Van Gogh inspired pieces, let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining me on this artistic adventure. And once again, this is Marissa with Materialize, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!